Hey keyboard nerds! Last week I did a YouTube short called Sidestepping with 9 chords, and I had a lot of you reach out to me and say that you really enjoyed it. So I thought I'd make a video where I'm going to show you some tricks, licks and tricks you can do with 9 chords inside of a C blues. Some sidestepping tricks that you can do to kind of take your comping to the next level. These 9 chords sound so cool, and sidestepping is really, really fun. And what I mean by sidestepping is just simply when you go up to the chord right above the chord that you're working with. So if you're working with the C9 chord, so you might sidestep to a C sharp chord, the semitone above. Or you might sidestep down to the chord below, which is a B9. So it's really just that simple. So let's get into it. We're going to work inside of a C blues. C blues is going to have 3 chords that we're going to sidestep with. One is going to be a C9 chord, one's going to be an F9 chord, and one's going to be a G9 chord. Let's go. So in review, a C9 chord is E, G, B flat, and D. Super cool sounding chord, has no root, has a great color to it, and sounds amazing over blues. So the F9 chord, the next one, is A, C, E flat, and G. The next chord is G9, which is B, D, F, and A. So really important to get those 3 9 chords underneath your fingers. C9, F9, G9. Now again, if you're wondering how a 9 chord is constructed, and you've never run into one of these chords before, you can apply a number formula to any major scale to figure these 9 chords out. And that number formula would be 3, 5, flat, 7, and 9. Here's how this works. A C major scale looks like this. So I'm going to go the 3rd note of that scale, the 5th, the flat 7, and then the 9. What I mean by 9 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That is the number formula for a 9 chord, and if you know that number formula, you can apply that to any major scale and figure out any 9 chord in any of the 12 keys. So there you go. These are the 3 chords that you want to know, and these are the 3 chords that we're going to sidestep with. C9, F9, and G9. So the first thing I want to talk about is the one note approach. We're going to approach these chords from either the chord directly above them, 1 note above them, or directly below them, 1 note below them. And what I mean by this is we're going to go C. We're going to approach C from C sharp 9. C sharp 9 is just the 9 chord, just chromatically right above that. There's C sharp 9, C9. And then we're going to approach the F from F sharp 9, which is just 1 step above F9. So there's F9, here's F sharp 9. Just chromatically 1 semitone above. And then G, we're going to approach from G sharp 9, which is a semitone just above. It's right here. Check this out. Here's what that would sound like in a blues. C sharp, C, C sharp, C, C sharp, C, F sharp, F, F, F sharp, F, C sharp, C, C sharp, C, G sharp, G, F sharp, F, C sharp, C, C sharp, C. Of course, if you want to end your progression with the G9, it's a great way to do a turnaround, a little button up the progression. It sounds really, really good. So that's sidestepping from the chord above. Let's try sidestepping from the chord below. So if I had a C9, that would be B9 would be the sidestep right below it. Or the 9 chord right below it. When I go to F, the 9 chord right below F would be E9. And when I go to G, the 9 chord right below G would be F sharp 9 or G flat 9, whichever one you would like to call it. So let's see what those sound like when we sidestep from below. Here we go. B, C, C, B, C, B, C, B, C, F, B, C, B, C, G. Pretty fun. Now, the fun thing is to mix and match these, so we know how to sidestep now from below, and we know how to sidestep from above. So the next thing to do is to get creative and start mixing them up. Sidestepping below, above, below, above, above, below. Check it out. Now, of course, I'm using kind of a Texas blues bass line just as something to jam with. You totally don't have to use that bass line. There's a million bass lines that you can use. In fact, you could just use a simple one-note shuffle line like. Whatever you want. Another one that you could try is like a Chicago bass line, like a. This one works great. So those are one note approaches where you're just approaching either from the note above or the note below. The next thing that you can try is a two-note approach. So if I were just to look at this and not even think about chords, just single notes, a two-note approach that you could do into C would be from D. It would go like this. And the other approach would be from below. B flat, B, C. Just chromatic movements. You can either approach chromatically from two notes above or below. So you just apply that same principle to 9 chords. So if you were coming into C, you could come from D, which is 2 9 chords above, C sharp, C. Or you could come from B flat below, B flat, B, C. And then with F, you could come from E flat below, E flat, E, F. Let me try that again. E flat, E, F. Or from above, G, G flat, F. And with G, you could come from F below, F, F sharp, G. Or you could come from A above, which would be A flat, G. Okay, check these out. I'll try to incorporate some of these two-note approaches into the blues. Try to talk you through this time instead of just playing, and hopefully this will make it a little easier to understand. So I'm going C, B flat, B, C, and then when I come into F, I'm going to do E flat, E, F. Then when I come back into C, I'm going to try doing a two-note approach from above. So D, D flat, C. When I go into G, I'm going to approach it maybe from 2 notes below, F, F sharp, G. And I'm going to go G, G, F sharp, F. And then D, C sharp, C. That is a whole lot of thinking right there. Anyways, I'm just going to play some of those two-note approaches one more time. You can take a look at them. Of course, it's really really important not to overuse that, and I'm just playing them all the time to show you all of the different ways that they can work. But typically when I'm comping with a band, I'll try to use them sparingly and tastefully, and just pick your spots. And the other thing is, now you can mix these up. You can mix the one note approaches with the two note approaches, and then you've got a whole bag of tricks, and you can get really, really creative. So I'm going to do a comp now and try to show you how to do one note approaches and two note approaches all together. Here we go. So that's just mixing all of them together, and that's really fun. So learn them both, learn the one note approaches, then the two note approaches, then of course, like I always say, do your own thing with them, get as creative as possible, make it your own. Now sometimes you won't always be playing left hand bass, and you might be playing with a great bass player, and this is perfect because you can still do all of this stuff, but use a slightly different technique. So here's something that you might want to try. So when you're comping with the bass player, you can take your left hand and put it one octave below the 9 chord that you're playing. It almost looks like you're going to play the same 9 chord in your right hand with your left hand. But one thing that you can try is just playing ghost notes with your left hand. So you probably heard me talk about this before. You're not actually playing any notes with your left hand, you're just playing a percussive clicky kind of sound. It just adds a nice ghost note. It just kind of makes it funky. So that's the kind of thing that you can play when you're playing with a bass player. Anyways, I hope you enjoy that over that shuffle thing. It's really, really fun, and you'll probably find you'll get a lot of mileage out of that sidestepping and stuff. It even works great in slow blues. When you're hanging out in a slow blues, and rather than just holding chords for get really monotonous and maybe a little boring. But what you can do is you can sidestep when you're playing a slow blues like this. C sharp, C. Etc. So you can use it in slow blues, and really you can also use these when you're playing really funky stuff, and you can use it when you're playing really funky stuff between your hands when you're playing with a bass player on kind of more of a funk setting. And I always think of the tune, what is it called? Oh yeah, Play That Funky Music, White Boy. Classic, right? There's kind of this rhythm in it, and I'm not sure if I'm even playing it close to the original, and I don't really care because it's just the inspiration for me to come up with my own kind of rhythm that I play on the organ. But here's an example. If you're just kind of grooving on a C9 chord and you're kind of playing this rhythm, you're literally using the one note approach and the two note approach. Here it is. So it's C. So you're doing the one note approach, you're going C, B9, then a 2-note, D, C sharp, C. So you just go like this. And then you're just attaching 9 chords to it. Then, of course, you can bring your left hand into the mix, 1 octave below. Almost looks like you're going to play a 9 chord too, but you're not. You're just going to kind of slap the keys very lightly. And you can create these ghost notes, which makes this super, super funky. Trying to slow it down to kind of show you what I'm doing between my hands. I don't really think about it too much. It just kind of happens. So sometimes I'll play it slightly differently, but you just kind of work on ghosting between your hands like that's kind of a 16 note pulse and not stopping and slowly building up speed. And that sounds really good, and it's really, really fun. And actually, a rhythm like that you can take through kind of when you're doing a funky, more like an 8th note blues, more of a driving funk blues. You can play a rhythm like that through the entire 12 bar, and I'll show you what I mean. It's a lot of fun, and don't forget, in YouTube there's a slow down tool, the little gear in the right hand corner at the bottom. You can slow that down to half speed to kind of get an idea how to play it slowly, and then you can go 3/4 speed and work it up. Just start slow, work it through slowly, get comfortable with it, and slowly build up to full speed. Anyways, there's a little tutorial on sidestepping with 9 chords for you. I hope you enjoy that. And remember, if you like that kind of stuff, there's tons and tons and tons of that in my online course, which you can check out at universeofkeys.com. Anyways, guys, I really appreciate the support on the channel, and I look forward to putting up a whole lot more videos very soon. Hope you have a good day. Take care.